Hi everyone. I'm going to be talking about change and how it is best that we can deal for change. Now, there are things for which we can never be ever prepared for, whether it is losing a job suddenly, whether it is a personal loss. At times, change is just inevitable. And as much as we have heard it and read about it so many times that change is constant, you should adapt change, you should go with the flow, but often, a lot of us may wonder that how is it that you do it? What do I do when I'm just caught in the center of the forest with a flashlight on my face? But there are certain tools, there are certain ways if we allow ourselves to learn, if we open our mind, if we open our heart, and if we are willing to learn to adapt, that these are these small things that they will not completely take care of everything. I don't promise and I don't guarantee that. But definitely it will make the journey ahead little better. The first is to evaluate your level of control. Sometimes it gets very easy to get very fixated on events on which we have no power. And this also applies in our personal relationships. When we lose somebody or when we have a breakup with somebody, and the grief and the heartbreak is so high that it gets very hard to see through, sift through that heartbreak, that pain, that wail of grief that is there, to be able to see as to what is it that really went wrong. At these moments, if we can just evaluate and ask ourselves that what is it more that I could have done? What is it more that I could have been responsible for my part into this? And if you have ticked all the boxes, and if you feel, and if you look back, and if you think that, I couldn't have done anything more. In this relationship, I gave it my all. I gave it my best. I couldn't have been a better parent. I couldn't have been a better lover. I couldn't have been a better father, mother, employee. And if all the boxes are ticked, you should let yourself off the hook, and you need to be telling yourself that that is the level of control that you had. Second is practicing self care after a loss. Now, often life's transitions involve losses. It could be losing somebody that you love, it could be a big move, it could be a loss of a job, it could be a relationship ending. And necessarily not all negative, even at times positive things, like this, your graduation has happened, you've just finished graduating, or even if you're moving to another job, it could end up feeling a little sad. The sense of melancholy could be there. You could just be thinking about the people that you're leaving behind. During the times of transitions, don't push your grief away. If you're feeling a little sad, if you're feeling a little low, allow yourself to feel that and take care of yourself. It's all right to acknowledge yourself and saying that, I have graduated and I did a wonderful job. I really worked hard, but I'm do feeling a little sad leaving my friends, my professors behind, this wonderful campus, the interactions, the fun, the canteen times. I'm going to be missing all of that. And it's quite all right to feel that rather than saying that, oh, it's all right, there's nothing to be feeling so bad about, look ahead at the future. Of course, you are going to be looking ahead at the future, and of course, nobody is saying that you need to be wallowing with all the loneliness and all the grief, but also you need to be allowing yourself to feel sad. Similarly, if there has been a job loss or you have lost somebody, allow yourself that grief time, allow yourself that grieving period, allow yourself to feel bad, feel sad, miss that person, miss that relationship. Acknowledge your loss and pay attention to what is it that you have learned through the experience. You need to be taking yourself through the process of the grief and reminding yourself of maybe something that has become a toxic pattern. Maybe that is something that you need help for. You always have wonderful counselors, you have friends that you can reach out to. Don't hesitate to reach out and to express your grief or even communicate as to what is it that you're feeling during that time. The third tip is to check your thought pattern. At times of change, it gets very easy for mind to cut corners. It will skip on to the details that happened. It will skip on to your part of your responsibility, your accountability, the role that you played in the specific situation, and it will take you only to the part where maybe you were told off, or maybe you were the victim and the other people were behaving really strangely or badly, or they had wronged you. But if you just take time to examine your thought patterns and assess, and if you change the story in your mind, what is the story that you're telling yourself? That, oh, everybody is constantly out to get me. I'm the only person who's overworked. Why is it that people do not give me credit for my work? Why is it that I am always underpaid? Why is it that I'm the only person who's always picked up or picked upon at in a meeting or in my group or at my job? Why is it in a relationship that I'm the one who's always picking up the pieces? You need to be examining your thought pattern, where it is that you are responsible, where it is that you are accountable for, what is the role that you played, and that is what you need to be reminding your mind of. So get your story correct in your mind. I think it's extremely important of the story that we tell ourselves, that our mind tells us during the time of transition or during the time of crisis. And one of my most favorite point is to be in the present. And while it's very important to lock ourselves in the past to find our strength, and sometimes we can, maybe feel too pulled in the future, that we are constantly planning about what is it that I will be doing the next year or in the 5 year. In fact, I think this is one of the most favorite question that's asked of all the HR, from all the HR people. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I think the people should be asking more that, what is it that you're doing in the present? What is it that interests you? So try and be more in the present. Look at your environment, look at your life, look at the space that your mind is in. When you're constantly planning for the future and when you're living with the pain in the past, you forget to live in the present. You need to be more in tune with yourself, your today, the place where you live, the house where you live in. If it is something that you don't like, if it is really cramped up, you need really to be moving to a larger place. You can't be saving up your happiness. You can't be saving the good times for a later time. You need to be more in tune with yourself, with your intuition, and also with your body. Pay attention as to how it is that your body reacts to stress. Do you tend to have carry a lot of pain in your neck? Do you have a lot of lower back pain? Be more in tune with your body and listen to your body. I think this is such an important thing that all of us tend to ignore, the constant slight headaches that we have. And while we can easily blame it that, oh, too much time on my laptop, I've been on my computer the entire day, but often there is much more to it. You need to be delving in deeper and to be understanding as to what is it that is causing stress. What is it that makes you wake up with a lot of pain in your body each day? So listen to your body, try and relax, try and breathe, treat yourself well. And by that, I don't mean that go out and shop at a fancy store. I'm saying that listen to your body more. If you need to be sleeping, if you need that extra hour in bed, remember to take that. Eat good food. Set aside everyday time to relax, to meditate, take deep breaths, and bring your focus back to present. Next point is to finding your priorities. Now, the most resilient people that I have come across, they always see change as an opportunity rather than a monster which they have to fear. So, transitions in our lives, they often allow us to consider where our priorities are. What is it that you want to be doing for the rest of your life? How it is that you want to spend the rest of your life? With whom is it that you want to spend the rest of your life? And where do you see yourself wasting your time and your energy? And what is it that you can do? The entire idea when we find our priorities is to empower ourselves more, to be more in control of our lives and of ourselves while being in the present. Above all, I would suggest that you really need to be prioritizing your health in life's transitions, because often if it's just a a simple move of a house. If you've been living at a place in a city, in a specific house for the last 5 6 years, and then you suddenly move to a new place, there can be some stress related things that could come up in your health, in your body as well. So listen to yourself, prioritize your health. If there is something that you feel you can't manage, and human beings, we are social animals, we are social beings, reach out to your family. Don't hesitate to reach out to your friends, or even tell yourself that, oh, it's something so small, everybody changes homes all the time, everybody is in transition, so what, it's something I can manage. Speak. It's quite all right to speak your fears, and even if you don't want to reach out to a counselor, or even if people around you are telling you, oh, you're going to be loving that new city, you will love the new home, it's going to be so wonderful. But if there is a lot of fear, which is quite natural, of the unknown, of not knowing whether you will make friends, how it is that you will be liking the community where you will be moving, it's quite natural for you to get to feel agitated, to feel nervous, even to be feeling quite lonely. Now, while all of us can't avoid change, but we can embrace transition, and we can see the challenges as opportunities. I do hope that these simple tips help you. I will be coming and sharing more easy and simple applicable life tips. If there is something that you want me to talk about, or topic which is close to your heart, and I don't claim to be an expert, these are just my personal experiences, things that I have learned, I've studied, and I've practiced in my own life. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting. I look forward to seeing you again.